according to what precedent we have, every election year we tend to spend. The president has been going around promising we're not going to spend. But the point is, if expenditure patterns are into the social infrastructural sector or in social infrastructure, it means that we don't get much return from those investments. At the end of the day, that has a concomitant effect on what our expectations should be for 2017. And indeed, overall performance, let's say from the third quarter and fourth quarter of the financial year.
Well, thank you very much. I would not be surprised to see a budget that would not put in so much resources into infrastructural projects, or as you've just mentioned, in the sense that over the years, government has put in place certain measures in terms of infrastructural development. We've already put in some form of resources. If you look at the energy sector, government has sunk a lot of money into the energy sector. And these are things that currently we are paying for. Okay, so in terms of new projects, as he mentioned, injury time, I don't think government is going to develop new projects, because most of the projects are ongoing. You have the school, that's the senior high school project. It is ongoing, so it means we need to continue. So these are ongoing projects. If you look at the energy sector, it is an ongoing project. These are not going to be new, so they are not going to be new projects. So if we are to see those things in the budget, they are not new projects, but they are projects which already we've committed resources to, and we need to continue funding. I want us to, exactly, so that it doesn't come out to say that, oh, because it is electioneering time, we are doing so many projects. No. These are projects that are already running.
And you're going to spend on them, and they come out with no returns. No, they don't have they don't have a positive economic effect in 2017.
In 2017,
yes,
we have a lot of
because once you're spending on infrastructure, I know Obi gets my drift. Yeah. It means that you're not spending on something like agriculture. You're not spending like services sector or the manufacturing sector. At the end of the day, you're spending on physical projects.
You see, for us,
even if they are going to spend on employment, it's a short-term thing.
Yeah,
that kind of less debt, those things.
Those are social.
Within 1 year, the thing collapses. 2012, they spent 84 million on less debt.
And that's the fear of many critics.
After 1 year,
that's the
temporary things that you do.
You see,
for election year, they've already imported a lot of things that they want to distribute. This even Mama Kambu. About 600,000 in the system.
Please.
About 6,000 in the system.
Please.
6,000.
Don't do what you are doing. You see, if you talk of social programs, things that will inure to the benefit of the citizen, you are talking of the Youth Employment Agency, for instance. Government has restructured the institution, brought in legislation to back the activity.
Well, that is good.
That is a positive
But according
step.
to the critics, why don't you strengthen the manufacturing sector, the other relevant sectors? They create a lot more jobs. They even have multiplying effect of transferring technology, developing skills and human capital.
Yeah, but the question is,
I think that makes a lot more sense in the medium to long term.
The question is, the institution is already existing. You cannot collapse it.
True.
You cannot.
Nobody says
you need to sustain it.
I do understand you find yourself in a certain difficult situation.
Nobody says you collapse it.
Please.
Now, this issue of Maslow.
Let me.
This is
so just wrap up on
Office of the President. Just the only
you need to sustain it. Okay. So that one, government will put in resources to sustain it, because there are people in there who are working. They need to earn a living, and that one government cannot truncate that process.
Obi, since 2013, we seem not to have just managed ourselves. We're just on the brink, always on the brink. What's your greatest fear as we're now coming to read the budget for the next year?
Oh, it's business as usual. The only check on the government will be this IMF program, but they will find a way out of it. And they've already started. As I said, if you look at Maslow, it's located at the office of the president. And now what they are doing is that they are using our money to campaign for this government.
Is that what you did when you were in office?
No, but if you're doing it, it doesn't mean I shouldn't say it. The records are there. When in 2013, when we looked at the activities of Maslow in 2012, they had used our money to buy fishing boats for fishermen, and even part of it was still in the warehouses. They had spent so much that they couldn't account for, and they said they were special projects. And the records are showing that they've started doing that again. They started giving loans to queen mothers. Giving loans to queen mothers. Is it that the person is employed that you want to help the person to be more employed, or because the person has a role as a queen mother, you should give her a loan? Which loans, some of them have started going around saying that if Mahama wins,
you have evidence.
I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Which loans? But they reported it. They reported that they're giving money to queen mothers. Sedinam's outfit. Yesterday you heard about in Sunyani where they said those vehicles, tricycles they are using are not authorized to be used on the roads.
According to the standards, the supervisory
yes,
agencies,
this is the police talking.
National Road Safety Commission,
yes.
the police service.
Meanwhile, Maslow came out to defend it. And it's Maslow which is supplying these things. And I'm saying that there are about 6,000 of them already imported.
So you're worried that these are just some of the dotted projects that we're going to find in the budget, which ultimately will take us...
Just short-term campaign gap thing, and after that we come back to square one and say that... As
Parliament, what can you do about it when you see some of these things?
Ours is oversight. Sometimes we only know after the thing has already happened. If you're able to arrest it in the middle of it, we should make so much noise so that at least the
can see
specific committee will intervene. But they are even running the committees. And then they also see that they are even benefiting. Before he even calls for any report to come, maybe they've sent some of the tricycles to his constituency.
That's not he's not contesting.
No, not him. I'm not talking about him.
No. You are talking generic.
Generic. I'm not talking about him.
They're not talking about you.
But the question I want to ask, is that what they've been doing when they were in office?
No,
we're talking about a precedent from 2012.
If I complain, doesn't mean that's what I was doing.
No, I'm really surprised because what he is saying.
Is it not true that it's not true?
It's not
true. Has Maslow not come out and
they are saying something it's not true.
You see, tell me specific thing that you think is not true. Because I've given you examples and that yesterday.
No, let me.
It happened in Sunyani just yesterday. Bravo. They were complaining that those things are not fit for the roads because they are not even.
It was in the news. This is not as if that is.
They are not even the regulations. But Maslow came out defending that they brought them. So why did you bring them if they are not for these things? But when the president went to Upper West, he was sitting in one of them. He was sitting one of them, parading in the streets.
You don't like the president? If you go to India, those means of transport.
No, but they have to conform to the law.
Oh, okay.
If you are saying that in the regulations they are not authorized to be used on the roads, so why was the president sitting in one of them? And I'm saying that they are distributing all over the place, and they are using.
I hear you're coming to distribute a lot.
Yes,
you know.
Why is the president sitting in one of them? I think it's legitimate.
For Maslow, our money. They are telling them that if we win, we won't come for it. If we lose, the MPP comes, they will come and say they can pay back. That's the propaganda they are doing all over the place.
Obi, let's address
that is if they are retained, they won't come for that.
No, look, this is
not paid back.
Yes.
Oh, so is that the reason?
The first lady's name to it.
Some places. Look,
this is your
look,
campaign.
As if we don't have institutional memory. You quite remember when we came into office. What happened? We had to go to people's homes to retrieve,
of course,
Maslow property.
If they are supposed to pay,
because they didn't pay back.
Exactly.
Yes, if they are supposed to pay, they should pay.
But those are defaults. Defaulters. They defaulted.
And listen, this was a widespread.
I'm saying that. I'm telling him.
Oh, please, you see, you're not allowing me to talk.
By next week, we can come and debate Maslow alone. For 2012, what happened?
You've been given the opportunity. Allow me to also make my point.
He was talking to me.
Oh,
he wasn't talking to me.
So, when we came into office, if you quite remember what happened, it was a widespread thing.
So you two are making it more widespread.
Since we came,
deepening it.
Go to Maslow.
I'll say when it comes to issues, then you are equalizing.
No,
we have to win.
No, but then look at
your CEO to go home up to now.
Look at the recovery rate.
Your CEO
the loans that we give.
Are they
Exactly.
Your CEO gave microfinance. You gave money to microfinance institutions.
All right.
Some of which were run by her husband. You said she should go home.